Welcome to the St. Peter's Engineering College, Department of Civil Engineering. Myself, Vigajendra, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering. So, I am going to be teaching the subject Transportation Engineering for the final fourth year's first semester under the JNU University Hyderabad R16 regulations. In this session, I am going to be teaching Unit 1, Part 5. This is the fifth session in the Unit 1. The topic I am going to be discussing is the highway alignment and highway surveys. So the previous four sessions, I discussed about the historical development of the roads, then what are the Jaker Committee recommendations, classification of the roads based on the location and function, classification of the roads based on the traffic, classification of the roads based on the load transported or tonnage, classification of the roads based on the paving surface, classification of the roads and as well as the urban roads. Next, classification of the road networks. These are the topics discussed in the previous four sessions. So, after understanding all the concepts of the classification of the roads, road patterns, or the road networks, and then the next part is going to be called as highway alignment. What is highway alignment? In this session, I'm going to be discussing about that the what is meant by the highway alignment. Or you can say the definition of the highway alignment. And if you are not going properly alignment is not done properly. So what are the ill effects will be there? What are the disadvantages will be there? And what are the ideal requirements of the highway alignment? Then what are the factors controlling the alignment? Are the factors affecting the alignment? And this is regarding the highway alignment. And then after understanding the highway alignment, then we are going for the highway surveys. Means we are going to be collecting the required data by using the highway surveys. And then after that, finally, we are going to be preparing the plan. Then we'll go for the reality in the construction. So for the construction, if we want to go for field construction, so first one we have to do the survey. We get the required information. Then we have to go for the construction. So then the alignment, highway alignment. Definition of the highway alignment, factors influencing alignment and obligatory points. So what is the highway alignment? Alignment, the term itself is going to be giving the meaning is that we are going to be called the central line or the layout or the position of the central line of a highway on the ground is called the alignment. So we want to go for a construction of a road, we require the two measurements. One is length, another one is going to be called as width. Length is infinite, width is restricted. That is depending upon that what is the traffic volume will be there and what is the class of the road will be there. If it is rural roads, what is the width of the road? If it is urban roads, what is the width of the road will be there. Actually, this is going to be fixed based on the traffic volume. If the traffic volume will be very high, then we'll go for single lane road or the single carriageway, double lane road or so the double carriageway road. Carriageway means we are going to be carrying the traffic. Vehicular traffic, that is we are going to be called as carriageway or single lane. Double lane or multiple carriageway or the multiple lane roads we are going to be using. That the width is going to be depending upon the traffic volume. Then the length is going to be called the infinite length. That is the starting point, origin point to the destination point. Means I want to go for a road, so I'm going to be fixing that the center line on the ground with respect to the length and width. With respect to the length and width, I am going to be fixing. Based on that one, all other geometrical features of the road we are going to be designing. So that is the initial point or the starting point is going to be called as alignment. That is the center line we are going to be fixing. So based on the center line, we are going to be fixing the width of the road, whether it is going to be single lane or the two lane or the multiple lanes. Single lane road, the width of the road is 3.75 meters as per Indian Road Congress. If it is multiple lane road, each lane width is 3.5 meters. This two lane road means 3.5 plus 3.5, 7 meters. 7 meters road. If it is multiple lane, 3 lane road, 3.5 multiple 3.5 plus 3.5 plus 3.5. So that is 10.5 meters. 10.5 meters is the multiple lane road. Two lane road is 7 meters. If it is single lane road, will be there 3.75 meters. So this is the width is going to be is fixed depending upon the traffic volume. Then the further purpose we are going to be fixing that the center line. Once we are going to be fixing the center line, the width is going to be designed based on the traffic volume. So that is we are going to be called as alignment. So the layout or the position of the center line of a highway on the ground is going to be called as alignment. If you are done properly the alignment, then automatically it will be reflecting. So the construction cost is going to be economical. If you are not going to be properly align, properly not set the alignment, so then it is going to be reflecting onto that. Initial cost of construction is going to be increases. Vehicle operation cost is going to be increases. So then so it will be leading to that the number of accidents. If you're not done properly the alignment, it will be leading to that. One is construction cost is going to be increases, vehicle operation cost is going to be increases, and it is going to be leading to that the accidents if the alignment is not going to be proper. So that's why we are going to be fixing the alignment in a proper way. So alignment of a new road should be done carefully to suit the mode of traffic and its requirement. So already I explained that what is the traffic volume and what are the requirements will be there. Based on that one, alignment is going to be fixed. If it is alignment is not aligned properly, there will be a capital loss initially and recurring losses in maintenance. So that is it will be reflecting onto that. One is already I told you that. So the cost of the construction is going to be increases. Means in terms of we are going to be not necessary of the gradient, we are going to be provided, then automatically earthwork excavation and is going to be leading to that. So the construction cost is going to be increases. If you are not necessary, the gradient is not going to be necessary. If we are going to be provided or designed, so then vehicle operation cost is also is going to be increases. And if you are not done properly the alignment, means in terms of the curves, wherever necessary, we are not going to provide properly curvature or the curve. That is the change of the alignment is going to be necessitated the curvature. So from straight alignment to that the straight alignment is going to be deviated, then automatically it is going to be introduced by the curve. If not done properly the curves, so then it is going to be leading to that the accidents. That's why improper alignment is going to be reflecting onto that the cost of construction is to be increases, maintenance cost is to be increases, vehicle operation cost is going to be increases, and then the last one is going to be called as leading to that the accidents. So unavoidable accidents, the accidents is going to be occur if not done or the improper alignment. The basic requirements of ideal alignment is short, easy, safe, and economical. Short, easy, safe, and economical. So this is we are going to be following while you are going for the alignment. That's why we are going to be called ideal requirements or basic requirements of an ideal alignment is your alignment will be short as possible, easy to construct, safe, and economical. It is not going to be giving any accidents. What is the shortest? The shortest possible route is going to be always is going to be called two terminal stations. It is always is going to be called a straight route. So the straight alignment would be the shortest. Shortest is going to be called as straight alignment is going to give us the shortest alignment. Automatically it will be leading to the cost of construction is going to be reduces. So that is it is desirable to have short alignment between two terminal stations. A straight alignment would be the shortest, though there may be several practical considerations which would cause deviations from the shortest path. So the shortest path always is going to be called as straight alignment. So then the next one is going to be called as easy. So what is meant by the easy alignment will be easy. Means whatever we are going to be taking the design construction, it will be implementing in the field to be easy. So that is the geometrical features we are going to be designing onto the road. The alignment should be such that it is easy to construct and maintain the road with minimum problems. Also the alignment should be easy for the operation of the vehicles. Geometrical features we are going to be provided means camber or the gradient or the curvature. So these are all we are going to be called as geometrical features that we are going to be discussing in that the geometric design of the highways. So that is easy to operate and easy to design and easy to construct. That is the easy. Then what is the safe? The alignment should be safe enough for construction and maintenance from viewpoint of stability of natural hill slopes, embankment, cut slopes, and foundation of embankment. Also, it should be safe for the traffic operation with safe geometric features. Almost all in simple sentence, we can say that it is road user always is going to be see that the while he is traveling on the road will be safe. So we are going to be provided safety precautions and as well as without getting any accidents is not going to be occur while you are going to be traveling on the road is going to be called as safe. So the road is going to be designed in such a way that, so from starting point to the end point, it does not meet with an accident. So that geometrical elements, the geometric design is going to be provided with safe travel from origin point to the destination point. Then economical one. So means they have economical means is your total cost of construction is going to be minimum. So the operational cost and maintenance cost is to be minimum. So then it is going to be called economical. So means here we are going to be using the locally available materials. When we can able to get the economical, we are going to be using the locally available materials, labor, and as well as other resources is locally we have to be taken into the consideration. Then it is going to be called as economical one. If you are saying that economical one, so we are not going to be using the poor quality of the material or the poor quality of the labor. Always we are going to be using the superior quality of the material. So labor is the well-trained labor we are going to be used. So these are the various resources, labor as well as the material and other resources like electricity and as well as water are all that will be required for a construction of a road project. So that all should be economical if we are going to be using locally available things. All the material resources we are going to be taken in from the local, then it leads to that the economical construction. The superior quality material we are going to be using in such a way that your total cost of construction comes to that the minimal or the economical one. And we are going to be giving the best features of the road or the best design of the road. Best design of the road. That is the economical one. Factors influencing the alignment. What are the while you are going for the alignment, some of the factors that is going to be controlling the alignment in such a way that, so we have to be taking the precautionary measures in plain areas. What are the factors that we have to be considered influencing that? The alignment should be as short as possible. Already we discussed straight alignment. The alignment should be as straight as possible. It should be connect many places as possible. Taking the straight alignment, we are going to provide the link roads. Then it is also is going to be called straight alignment. Smooth curves and easy gradient should be provided adapted as far as possible. In plain areas, this is the already we discussed about the so the basic the ideal requirements. Ideal requirements of an alignment is short, safe, easy, and economical one that we are going to be implementing into the plain areas. So it should be cross a river or the stream at a suitable bridge site. Number of bridges and culverts in alignment should be minimum. As far as possible, the alignment should be such that it comes on high ground, ensuring good natural drainage of water. While you are going to be designing or while going for the fixing of the alignment, we had to be see that the river or the stream is going to be crossing. In such that places, we are going to provide cross drainage structures in terms of the bridges. So that is for that appropriate site we had to be say appropriate site we had to be identified. That is also number of bridges and culverts should be minimum. Otherwise, your cost of construction is going to be increases. So as far as possible, the alignment should be such that it comes on high ground, ensuring good natural drainage of water. So you are going for the high elevated one, then automatically the drainage of water by the gravity. So we can able to drain off the water by the gravity if we are going to provide the appropriate slope. So that is the first last point we are going to be discussing that one. As far as possible, the alignment should such that it comes in high ground ensuring good natural drainage of water. It should avoid marshy areas. Means it is going to be called as soft soil or slushy. Means mean what we have to do, marshy areas means we have to replace the soil and we have to go for the construction. Then it will be leading to that the initial cost of construction is going to be increases. Marshy areas means very slushy. Directly we cannot able to construct the road. Wherever it possible and the marshy areas come across, then we have to be remove that one to a certain depth and we have to fill that the foreign soil or appropriate soil will fill that one. Make sure that it is going to be called a soil is stable or the foundation is going to be stable. That is the marshy areas should be avoided. That's why we are going to be avoiding the marshy areas. Otherwise, your cost of construction is going to be increases. Religious places we are going to be avoiding, and the monuments having historic importance. We don't want to go for demolishing of the religious places or the monuments because it is going to be historic importance. We cannot able to construct it again. if the monuments. And similarly for the religious places also, we are going to be deviating the alignment. In such areas, we are going to be deviating the alignment, and we are going to be continuing the alignment for the road construction. It should avoid long stretches of gardens, agriculture lands, and built-up areas as land acquisition becomes very costly. So this is also we have to be taken into the consideration that agriculture lands, because we are having that the cultivation and as well as the yield will be more, then we don't want to continue with the agriculture lands and the built-up areas. The land acquisition, we are going to be giving the compensation. If you are going to be acquiring that land, we have to be give the compensation to that landowners. It should pass through the scenic beauty. Your factor of alignment will be, it should avoid forest areas, because here also we have to be deforestation has to be done. So that is natural we are going to be destroying. That's why we are going to be avoiding as far as possible. Earthwork should be minimum. That is going to be, earthwork means you are going to be taking out or you are going to be filling up of the soil or excavating the soil should be minimum. Men and material should be available locally. Then only we can able to get the economical one. In hilly areas, till then we have discussed about that the plain areas, what are the factors that we have to be considered. And then the hilly areas, automatically we can able to see that landslides will be more. So we had to be see that landslide, steep terrain and other inaccessible areas should be avoided. As far as the terrain, steep terrain we are going to avoid. Frequent landslide areas should be avoided. Otherwise it is compulsory or it is mandatory, then we are to be provided that the treatment for the landslide. So avoid the landslide, we are going to be provided that the concreting we have to be done or the riprapping we are going to be done. So to avoid that the land mass, sliding of the land mass, it should involve least number of hairpin bends, because more number of high hairpin bends, automatically your cost of construction is going to be increases. That's why we have to be as less as possible hairpin bends. That is in vertical alignment, and that is in hilly areas or mountainous section. The curvature we are going to provide is going to be called a hairpin bends. In plain areas we are going to be called as horizontal curve. It should be plenty of sunlight, shady, and snow area should be avoided. You should have plenty of sunlight, shady and snow area should be avoided. Always it has to be get more sunlight such that we can able to get that, avoiding that the lighting on the road and avoid the accidents, especially in the hilly or the mountainous terrains. So then the another is going to be called as obligatory points or the control points. What is meant by obligatory points or control points? The controlling points which govern the highway alignment are known as obligatory points, and are they're mainly responsible for deviation of highway from straight location. Obligation means, so some of the areas already we discussed that if the monuments will be there or religious places will be there, that is obligate should not pass through. Obligatory points should not pass through. It means alignment should not pass through. Alignment should pass through. River crossing should pass through. We can able to provide an appropriate so bridge, the culvert we are going to be provided should pass through. That is, so the control point should pass through or obligatory point should pass through. His example is going to be called as river or the hill is going to come across. We can able to pass through or the alternative alignment we are going to be provided. But in case of, so the religious places, worship places like temples, church and mosque, then should not pass through. Your obligatory point should not pass through. Control points, so that is the straight location. Classification of the obligatory points through the which alignment pass through, points through which the alignment should not pass through. So that is a pass through is example hill as well as the river, and points through which the alignment should not pass through is, so the historical places, monuments, as well as the temple, the worship places. So the points through which the alignment should pass through, already I discussed about the river. So in this here we can able to see that, so A to B is going to be called a straight alignment, and we can able to go for here. So this is the deviated alignment, and here we are going to be provided the suitable bridge site. Means the bridge site we are going to be provided with the narrow width of the river, your cost of construction is going to be reduces. That's why instead of if you go over here, so here then is not the wider width of the river will be there. So you are going to be avoiding, and here we can able to get that the narrow width of the way, narrow width of the river, or otherwise suitable bridge site is going to be available for the foundation. Then your alignment will be passing through like this. So this is starting point, these are a destination point. your alignment can pass through like this, or the alignment can pass through like this. So if you are going to passing through like this, is the suitable bridge side we are going to be there, foundation we are going to be occur here. If you go like this, your cost of construction is going to be increases, because of here we are not able to find that the appropriate location for the foundation, or it is width of the river will be large, width of the river will be wider. Here the width of the river will be smaller. Width is going to be narrowed. So that's why almost all the bridge constructions we are going to provide on on the river bridge. On the river bridge we are going to construct means you have to find that the narrow width of the river and suitable foundation, suitable foundations, suitable site for the foundation. Then we are going to be continuing the alignment itself. This is one example obligatory points. They are the points which element is to pass through. Then the alignment points through which the alignment is to pass through is also another alignment. So we are going to be linking that the different places. This is C point and D point. So your A and B is the straight alignment. Instead of that one, I can able to go like this: A to C and D and B. And I'm going to be linking that the different places, and I can able to get that so the revenue I am going to be generated, instead of I'm going from A to B a straight line. A to B a straight line. So I'm not going to be generating more revenue if the road is going to be constructed. Instead of that one, C and D are the some of the places, villages we are going to be linked. So then A to C, then D and B. So the route is going to be a lengthy route, but I am able to get that revenue from this one. That's why alignment I'm going to be changes. Instead of A to B as straight road, I am going for the A, C, D and B. So road element linked up intermediate points. So this is the road element linking up intermediate points. Then the points through which the alignment should not pass through. So points through which the alignment should not pass. So this is we can say the contour of the row, contour of the hill. So that is the successive hills are there. So your alignment is A to B. A to B is this one. This is the hill. This is the one. This is another one. This is another one. This is another one. Hills are there. So then if I'm going to be passing through the A to B, what is going to be happen? So through the hill I have to pass through means I have to go for the tunnel excavation. And it also is possible, but your cost of construction is going to be increases. Instead of go around the hill, then this is another route is going to be alignment. Another alignment is going to be provided. So there is no need to go for your tunnel excavation. There is no need to work on tunnel excavation. So we had to be calculated or evaluated that what is the cost of construction from A to B. If I'm going through the tunnel A to B, what is the cost of construction? Comparing that the two alternative proposals, which one will be the least cost of construction, that we have to be considered. That alignment should be considered. As far as possible, so away from the hill is going to be called as least possible construction. While you are going preferring through the tunnel, preferring through the hill means we had to be excavating. We are going to providing the tunnel, underground tunnel we are going to provide it, and we have to reach the point B. Then it leads to that the cost of a lot of cost of construction. It is increase the cost of the construction. That's why we are not. So we are not going to be taken this one. This A to B away from the hill we are going to be considered. It is going to be reduce the cost of the construction. Points through which the alignment should not pass through. This is also here it is going to be called as a lake or monument. Anything is going to be called. This circle is going to be ellipse is going to be giving us that lake, or otherwise some other we are going to be called as the monuments or the religious place will be there. So I am not going to be passing A to B like this. Instead of that one, I am going to be deviating. So this is going to be called as deviated alignment. So I don't want to demolish the religious places. I don't want to demolish the historical monuments. Instead of that one, I am taking A, C, D, and B instead of A to B. So this is we are going to be called as points through. The alignment should not pass through. Then another one is going to be taken the traffic. What is the factors that has to be considered while you are taking the alignment? The alignment should the traffic requirements. What are the traffic requirements? Is going to be called your origin and destination study, and you are drawn the desired lines. What is the shortest possible route will be there? Minimum travel time will be there. That we are going to be taken, and we are going to be the delay delay because of the traffic signals or intersections should be avoided. Like that, that is we are going to call as traffic requirement. So your travel time is going to be as short as possible. So like that, we are going to be taking the traffic. Original destination studies should be carried out in the area and the design lines be drawn in the trend of the traffic flow. The new road to be aligned should keep in view that the design lines, traffic flow patterns and future trends. So so the demand in which road or which alignment will be there based on the demand. So I had to be the minimum travel time I had to be decided in that direction. I had to be take the alignment. So that is known as the traffic volume. Traffic volume will be as less as possible. If the traffic volume will be more, your travel time is going to be increases. That's why. So traffic is the one of the parameter I have to be considered while you are going for the alignment. Then the geometric design. So geometric design factors such as gradient, means slope have been provided, radius of curve, and sight distance. The distance visible ahead to the driver, that is known as the sight distance. To stop the vehicle, that is known as the sight distance. So gradient, radius of the curve, and sight distance are the geometric design parameters while you are taken into consideration while alignment of the highway. As far as possible, while aligning a new road, the gradient should be flat. Instead of we are going to provide the slope, I'm going to provide the flat and less than the design gradient. The absolute minimum sight distance, which should invariably be available in every section of the road, is the safe stopping sight distance for the fast moving vehicles. There should be enough distance visible ahead for safe overtaking operations of the vehicles moving at design speed of the road. That is, when the sight distance is going to be called overtaking distances we are going to be provided, or the absolute minimum sight distance where is available to the driver such that he can be able to stop the vehicle at any instant of time. So that is known as the absolute minimum sight distance. At any instant of time, so the driver can able to stop the vehicle. So there is a disturbance disturbance came onto the road. So that is known as sight distance, minimum sight distance. Overtaking. So for the fast moving vehicles, always so they overtaking the slow moving vehicles. So the opportunity we are going to provide the overtaking sight distances. Then the final one is going to be called as economical considerations. Finally, so in the previous, the basic requirements also we discussed that ideal requirements is short, safe, easy and economical one. Always we are going to be considering that local available materials, local labor, and then the resources is available in the adjoining area. Then automatically your road construction is to be a economical construction. So that is the alignment finalized based on all the factors, obligatory points, traffic and geometry should also be economical. In working out economics, the initial cost of maintenance and vehicle operation cost will be taken into the account. This already we discussed. Cost of construction, cost of maintenance and vehicle operation cost should be minimum. Then it is going to be reflecting onto that the economical construction. Other considerations. So we discussed the obligatory points, we discussed the traffic, we discussed the geometric design, economical one. What are the other than that one, what is missing is hydraulic considerations, hydrological factors, political considerations, and monotony. So these are the various other factors which may govern the alignment or drainage considerations. Hydrological factors means rainfall data, political considerations, delaying of the project, and monotony. The vertical alignment is often guided by drainage considerations. The subsurface water level, seepage flow, and high flood level are the factors to be kept in view. So drainage, the proper drainage will be provided such that so water will be drained off. Water is not going to be stagnated on the road. If water will be stagnated on the road, it is going to be giving that the damage to the road. Hydrological factors is rainfall data. So based on that one, the road is going to be designed. Political considerations. This is most important than to get the financial assistance. So we are going to be submitting that the project reports, that is the complete design and as well as the estimates. Then we have to get that the approval from the ministry. So this comes as a political considerations. Sometimes government is going to be changes your So the your plan of the road construction or your submission of the approval is going to be delayed. Your road construction is going to be delayed in the initial stage itself. Once you get the approval, then so financial assistance also had to be get the approval. These are always going to be delayed with the government rules and regulations. So up to this, we discussed about the what are the alignment factors controlling alignment or the ideal requirements of the alignment. Now, the next part after understanding that the alignment, what is meant by the alignment, what are the factors we have to be considered while you are going for the alignment, fixing of the alignment for the road construction, various factors we studied, we discussed. Now, then we'll go for the surveys, highway surveys. So the term itself is going to be giving the meaning survey. Survey means we are able to get that the details regarding that the road construction. How had we construct the road? For that, what are the details will be required? Details related to that construction materials, construction labor, construction machinery, and as well as the other than that one is going to be called as water facilities and electrical power supply. These are all we are able to identify, we are able to get the information related regarding this one is going to be called as highway surveys. So then the survey is going to be finalized, our survey is going to be completed, then we'll go for reality in the construction. Survey get the details regarding the measurements and the materials, construction, machinery, each and everything. Once we get the data, then we are going for preparing a plan. For the survey output is going to be called prepare a plan or the map. Then we are go for the reality in the construction. So that is we are going to be dealing with the highway surveys. Information, collection of the information related to the related to the soil conditions, related to the construction materials, related to the construction labor, related to the water requirement, related to the power supply. So power supply, these are the data we are going to be collected, physical data and as well as other data we are going to be collected, and then we are going to prepare the, then after that we will go for the measurement. After that we are get the measurements, we will prepare the plan. Then there is the preparing of the drawings. Plan means preparing of the drawings. Once the drawing is going to be prepared, then we will go for the reality in the construction. Highway surveys. Highway surveys is going to be classified as map study, reconnaissance survey, preliminary survey, detailed survey, or the final location survey. So these are the four types of the surveys. Is going to be giving you the information related to the materials, labor, and soil data, and other data related to the water resources, and other data related to the electrical power supply and the machinery. What is meant by the map study? What is meant by the reconnaissance survey? What is the preliminary survey? What is the detailed survey or the final location survey? The four stages of highway surveys is required to finalize the highway project. I have to complete my highway project. These are the four surveys has to be done. Then we'll go for the reality in the construction. So what is the map study? The map study is going to be giving the meaning. The term itself is giving the meaning map. Map means here the topographical maps. We are going to be getting the topographical maps of that area. In which area where the new road is going to be constructed, for that area we are going to be taking out the maps, considering of the topographical maps or topo sheets. So this is going to be prepared by the Survey of India. From that Survey of India, we can able to get the topo sheets and topographical maps. In the map itself, we are going to fixing that the two locations. What is the starting point and what is the destination point of the your road, your proposed road network, your proposed network. That is known as the map study. We are going to be sitting in the office and we are going to be finalizing that the route selection. With the help of the topographic map, it is possible to identify the road. In India, topographic maps are available from the Survey of India, which is 15 or 20-meter contour interval. That suggests two or more alternative roads. We are doing the map study. The following details are available on the map. Alignment, avoiding valleys, ponds, or lakes. So this is the geometrical features we are able to see that we are going to be avoiding the valleys, ponds, or the lakes in an area. Which area we are going to be proposing the road construction. Take the topographic maps. In that Yeah, it's going to be giving all the built-up areas, valleys, ponds, or lakes. Is going to be giving. We are going to be avoiding. Your element should not pass through that one valleys. When the road has to cross row of hills, possibility of crossing through a mountain pass. So row of hills will be there. How we had to be taken pass through that alignment. Already we discussed away from the hill. We are going to provide the alignment such that we are going to be avoiding that the tunnel construction. If it is unavoidable, then we have to go for the tunnel construction, underground construction. Location of the bridge site or the crossing river to decide the length of the road approximately. These are the things we are going to be getting the information from the map study. Then the second part of the survey is going to be called as the reconnaissance survey. Reconnaissance. It is a rapid and rough survey. In this, we are going to be getting that the field information. Reconnaissance survey completely gets the field information where the proposed road is going to be constructed. For that field data, during the survey, the physical characteristics of the area are inspected. Physically, we will go there and we are going to inspect it, and we are going to be getting the information is going to be called a reconnaissance. The proposed route is thoroughly examined. We proposed the route on the map. That is in the map study. We proposed the route so that physically we are going to be visiting that site and we are going to be examining that the physical characteristics. Simple instrument used a survey party to collect that additional information. The information which is not available in the map are to be collected and noted down. That is the main thing, main objective while you are going for reconnaissance survey. Physically, we are going to be visiting the site and we are able to get the information is not available from the map. So what are the objects of the reconnaissance survey? To study the feasibility of the proposed route. Feasible means whether it is going to be possible or not. Is the feasibility of the proposed route. To study the type of valleys, ponds, and permanent structures, etc. To study the number of cross drainage works. Cross drainage works means culvert or the bridge. How many bridges or culverts will have to be constructed? If it is going to be valley, if it is a pond or river is going to be crossing. To study the type of the soil. Then the third survey is going to be called as preliminary survey. This survey can be started on the basis of reconnaissance survey. Reconnaissance survey is physically we are going to be going to the site and we are going to be getting that the field information. So that the continuation will be there in the preliminary survey. This survey can be started on the basis of reconnaissance survey. It is done by using the instruments such as chain, compass, or tape, level and theodolite, etc. Preliminary information to draw the drawings. What are the objectives of the preliminary survey? To select the best route by surveying of alignments proposed in reconnaissance and to collect the necessary information. In the reconnaissance, we are physically so we are going to be physically we are going to be so we are going for the site and we examine that the site and we are going to be preparing the best route, best possible route. That is the feasible one. To finalize the best alignment considering all the factors in the preliminary survey, to estimate the approximate quantity of earthwork and materials, etc. Preliminary means it is before going for finalization, you are going to be fixing that the alignment is going to be called as preliminary survey based on the reconnaissance report. So physically we are going for the site and we are going to examine that the physical characteristics. So then the feasibility report we are going to be submitted. With that the feasibility report, the preliminary survey is going to be done. Here we are going to be fixing that the appropriate alignment. So information required for preliminary survey is existing drainage particulars and natural water resources, extent of cultivated area. These are the information will be required. The alignment should not pass through the cultivated area. And wherever where natural water resources will be there, we have to go for constructing of the bridges. Soil particulars, all other particulars of the site which affect the final location. So these are the information or we are able to get it from the preliminary survey. So then the final survey is going to be called a detailed survey or final location survey. The alignment finalized after the preliminary survey is to be first located on the field by establishing the center line. Once you are going to be fixing in reconnaissance survey, we'll get the physical information, physical characteristics of the site information, Then we are going to be, in preliminary survey, we are going to be fixing that the alignment. Then for detailed survey, final location survey, we are going to be fixing the center, or establish the center line on the proposed alignment. For the proposed alignment, or for proposed the road, we are going to be fixing the center line. So the first step we are going to be taken in the final location survey, detailed survey or final location survey. This is done accurately by using the various instruments. So like the level, dumpy level, and as well as nowadays we are going to be using the total station to fixing up of the center line of the road, center line of the road, center line of the road and the ground. The final route selected after the preliminary survey is surveyed in detail and located in the field. Objects of detailed survey. What the things we are going to be getting to locate the center line, fixing the center line is going to be done in the final and detailed and final location survey. Preparation of the working drawings. So that is what is the length of the road, what is the width of the road. For that we are going for longitudinal sectioning and cross sectioning. With that information we are going preparing the drawings and the preparation of the detailed estimate. Detailed estimate related to the earthwork excavation, what is the total thickness of the road and what is the total length of the road, that is gives us a detailed estimate. Cost of construction related to that, the material, how much quantity of the material will be required for the total length of the road is the detailed estimate. A design of road and bridges comes from the detailed survey. So then preparation of specifications, land acquisition, we have done, you are going to be fixing the center line of the road. Land is going to be acquired for the future also. That is known as the land acquisition. For the future, for the future expansion also, we are going to be acquiring the land. Working out total cost of the project. Preparation of detailed report about the road projects. Preparation of the detailed report about the road projects. So this is, we are going to be finalizing in the final and detailed survey. Final and detailed survey. Final and detailed survey. So in this we are, so the session 5 we are going to be discussing about the alignment and as well as the highway surveys. So in the alignment, what is the definition of the alignment? What is the basic requirement or basic or ideal requirements of the alignment? And what are the controlling points of the alignment? Then after understanding of the alignment, so we discussed about the highway surveys. What are the different highway surveys? Is map study, reconnaissance survey, preliminary survey, final and detailed survey. So after this, directly we can go for the construction of the road in the field. Once the survey is going to be completed, from the survey we are going to be preparing that the drawings. Once drawing is going to be finalized, then we can go for the reality in the construction. So with this, so this is the unit 1. We are going to be covering the topics, alignment, all the topics we covered. So next session we will start with the geometric design. Thank you.